Hello, my name's David. I'm an environment artist, and on my channel I usually do gaming content. But recently I've suffered a Google account hack or scam, and I completely lost control of my whole Google account and consequently my YouTube channel, which was a very unpleasant experience. And this video is kind of my attempt at giving a bit of information about what happens when you lose control of your YouTube account and Google account. And we're going to go through like exactly what happens, what to do, things to concentrate on, things to do first, things to lock down, and then the steps you can take to get your account back. Because lucky me, I was able to fully recover my whole Google account, my YouTube channel, and it's all worked out tremendously. So while all this is fresh in my mind, I wanted to get it down on a video. And so if it happens to you, and there's some steps that you can follow and hopefully get your account back. And finally, I will go through how I got scammed into losing my account. It's a slightly embarrassing story filled with things I shouldn't have done and being distracted and tired, but I will tell you anyway, just so that you know how it can happen. So before we get too in-depth into it, I want to show you a little analogy I've mocked up about the process of what happens when you lose your account, okay, and how Google responds to it initially. So have a look at this. Officer, I need help. Hello, sir. What seems to be the problem? My house has been hijacked. I can't get in. I tried my keys when I got back today. It wouldn't work. Looked in through the window. There's some person in there, sitting on my couch, drinking my wine, eating my pizza, and they've changed the locks. I can't get in. Completely locked out. No problem at all, sir. We can sort that out right away for you, sir. All I would ask you to do is use your house keys, open your front door, walk in, and call us up on your landline. All right, sir? Officer, did you not hear? They've changed the locks. I can't get in to my house. I can't call you on my landline. I can't get in. I'm locked out. Once you do that, we'll take your call and we'll be right on it and we'll get you back in your house immediately, sir. Okay? Officer, are you deaf? Are you not listening? Are you deficient? I can't get in. It's locked. The key doesn't work.
I say that. Couldn't help overhearing you, Bean, but if you send a message on the X messaging service to @Team YouTube, I've heard that they may very well notice your message and perhaps get in contact. Good luck, old chap. Bye.
Ah, okay, thanks. Right, I'll try that.
Oh, yes, sir. That might be an avenue for you to pursue in this case. Because perhaps I or one of my colleagues might be having a poo in the toilets, looking through our telephones, and we might just see your message on Twitter.
That's X now.
Yes, Twitter. So I'll leave it with you, sir. Good luck. Goodbye.
So that little story there is pretty much what happens when you lose your account. And in my case, I lost control of everything. Passwords were reset, recovery codes were reset, two-factor authentication was reset. I had absolutely no way to get back into my Google account. And I had read that I shouldn't just go ahead and create a new Google account, and you might come across this advice too, because it can muddy the waters with you having two accounts. But in the end, I found that I needed to make a new Google account in order to deal with Google. So that's what I would say in that situation. But it really is very difficult. It's really, it's upsetting. It's like getting burgled. It's a horrible experience. And in my case, I had a YouTube channel and all of my associated Google things. And it was bad enough losing my YouTube channel, but what really hurt was losing the last 25 years of family photos, which were backed up to Google Drive. And yes, stupid me, I hadn't backed them up anywhere else, had I? And I have now, by the way. Okay. But yeah, that really stung, and that was a hard blow. Yeah, I mean, I was in tears when I realized that I'd lost the family photos. All the way going back to meeting my wife at university and all the years together we've had, and my son, his early life growing up and up till now. So it was a horrible thing to lose. And yes, I've got it all back, so it's a happy ending. So, after clicking on some things I shouldn't have done, which I'll detail at the end of the video, the first inkling I had that something was amiss was that my phone switched off. And I thought, oh, strange. My phone must have crashed or something like that. I switched it back on to find that it had been factory reset. And then I was like, oh, what's going on here? And so I spent a few minutes sort of, mucking about with the phone thinking, this is very strange. And then I noticed that every device that was connected to my Google account, a tablet and another phone, had also reset, with factory reset, and all data erased, essentially. And I was starting to think, like, nothing's going on here. And then I noticed in my inbox, in my email, and this is my separate email, that Google had sent me about 8 emails, and I looked on them, and they were very close together, like all within the space of about 3 minutes. And the first one was password changed, then recovery codes changed, then two-factor authentication changed, and then it was starting to sink in. I'm like, oh my god. So I, naturally I tried to log in, and can't get in. Google's emails, very, very unhelpful. They say, hey, your passwords have been changed. You might want to log in to check what's going on. Yeah, of course. By that time, you can't log in, can you? So, completely useless advice. So, after repeatedly trying my login, not working, so then I start hunting around, what do I do? And I found my way onto a Google recovery page for your account. And what does the Google account recovery page want? It wants you to put in your password, doesn't it? Google's response in these situations is beyond useless. It makes zero common sense at all, and it's almost as if no human has ever been involved in that automated process. It's absolutely useless. So you're left with staring at this thing that's saying like, hey, just log in, and we'll see what we can do. Just log in. But you can't just log in, can you? Because you've been locked out of your account because everything has been changed. So then what do? You panic. You panic. No, don't panic. Don't panic. In large friendly letters, don't panic, right? Because you've got to just sort of stay calm. And yeah, the initial urge is to panic and freak out because you've lost it all. You've lost it all, haven't you? But no. In these situations, you've got to concentrate on the most important thing first. So in my case, I had all sorts of photos. I had photos of my passport, of my driver's license, various government ID things. And over the past 25 years, I was thinking, what the hell else have I got on there? Yeah, it's just like documents, important stuff that I'll take a picture of, and I don't want to lose it. So a whole swathe of security information was out there now. And so, number one, banking. Lock down banks. Lock down anything financial, right? Then look at stuff like government IDs. Cancel those. Order new ones. So new passport, new driver's license, new bank cards. And then you've got to systematically go through and think, right, what's the next worst thing that they could get hold of? and take steps to do that. If you are in the UK, and maybe there's local equivalents for wherever you are, but in the UK we have an organisation called CFAS, and I'll put a link to that. And if you go on that website for £30 for the next 2 years, you can put yourself on an enhanced security register. And this organisation works with lots of different companies, and they will provide additional security checks to reduce the risk of identity fraud. And also, I contacted the police because, at least here in the UK, if you're reporting your passport as stolen, and in a way mine kind of was, the details had been stolen. So I contacted the police, and law enforcement is pretty useless when it comes to online fraud, generally, because the perpetrators will be masking themselves with VPNs, but it covers you in the event of any fraudulent activity that people are doing in your name. You know, at least you've got some sort of police incident record. So that is well worth doing as well. So, how do you actually start getting your account back? Well, as we've seen, Google is pretty useless about this. For some unknown reason. I guess Google have got too many accounts globally to want to bother with it, I suppose. And it's very frustrating. But from just randomly searching online, I then found that Google have an account, or various accounts, on X, or Twitter, as I still like to call it. And indeed, when I found that information, I went back into Google looking for that, and buried away in the sort of pages there's an @Team YouTube X account. So I dug out my old X account that I'd forgotten I had, and I went on and I posted a public message to Team YouTube on X saying, hey, my account's been scammed. They've totally taken over my account. Please, can you help me? And a few days later, I got a reply from @Team YouTube, and they just said, follow them on that account, then they are able to direct message you. So this is why you need another Google account, because Google won't start any sort of recovery process unless you have a Google account, a Gmail email address, essentially. So set just a separate Google account up, so you've got an email, and then they asked me to provide that, so I did. And then, I mean, they only reply to your message once per day, it seems. So a back and forth went on for several days while I was saying, I don't have a Gmail account. Do you want me to create a Gmail account, or can you just use my other email address? So, you know, that's like 3 days wasted there. But in the end, we got there, and then they were able to send me a link to a recovery form. And so once you get that, you can hop on it, and they just require things like your IP address, locations that you've accessed your YouTube account, and various other details relating to you personally. And it's all like data points, so that they can compare who has your account now, where they're accessing it from, what they're doing. They can compare it to what information you have provided to them, and then they can look back in the records, because Google have it all. They have all the information, and it's pretty straightforward for them to say, yeah, there was a big change here. All the passwords, all the security got changed on that day, and look, this person's showing us the relevant information that matches to the history of their account. So, you know, it's a kind of a no-brainer when you look at the data points that way. But it doesn't help to stop you worrying in the meantime, does it? But once you get on that recovery process, then, you know, you're pretty much home free, I'd say. Unless there's some really weird stuff happening to your accounts, that you would do weird stuff as a rule. You know, say if you're always accessing your Google account through a VPN, that might use matters a little bit, you know. So bear that in mind as well. But following all that, my account was restored to me, which was great. And it was just short of 2 weeks after initially losing it. And I was able to get back on it and change back all the security information, reset up codes and two-factor authentication and all that stuff. And Google were really good at following up. And they were saying, right, could you tell us exactly what you've changed and your IP address from where you've changed it from, just so that we can double verify that it is you and not someone else impersonating you somehow. So I found Google to be pretty good. Once you can get to a human, then they know exactly what to do, and it's a pretty straightforward process. The problem is getting through to the human in this whole chain. That is the number one problem. And basically, you're relying on X. You're relying on @TeamYouTube on X to see your message. And you can imagine how many messages they must get. So the whole thing wrong with Google's process for recovering accounts is that there's no mechanism within the Google ecosystem to do it, which is insane. It's absolutely insane to me. I can't believe it. You have to leave the Google ecosystem to recover your account. You have to go to X, of all places. You have to go to X and send them a message and hope that they see it. And that is how it works. I never thought I'd be saying it, but thank God for X, eh? So, we get to the most embarrassing point about this video is, how did it happen to me? I consider myself a tech-savvy industry professional. I've worked with IT nearly my whole life, and I should have known better. But how it happened, I had an email relating to advertising on my YouTube channel. It was more of a collaboration with a known software product. And these people were obviously impersonating someone from that software company. And after a few back and forths, which appeared to be very professional, and nothing raised my alarms. So at this point, mistake number 1. I didn't look at the email address that this email was coming from. And when I looked later on, it just looked wrong. It was just some weird email address. And if it's from a software company, you would expect it to have the name of that software company in it, .com or .org or .something, it was just like, I don't know how I missed it. And, I just did. So that was mistake number 1. Then mistake number 2 was the link in the email they sent me for more information on the brief. So, classic mistake. Never click on an email attachment that you aren't 100% sure where it's coming from. And even then, probably don't do it. Go your own route to that thing, right? So, again, classic mistake that I made. Clicked on that, didn't I? And then, this is where some really bad timing and just like, oh man, why and how. But my wife has been having issues with her bank card lately. And so I've been having to verify a lot of her purchases with my Verify app on my phone. So verification requests coming in is not an unusual thing for me. So when I clicked on that email link, I got an authorization request on my phone. And third mistake, the massive mistake. All I can say is I was tired, I was distracted, I was in a little bit of a rush, and I thought, oh, authorization request, this is probably my wife getting the weekly shopping or something like that. And without really thinking too much, I clicked it, which is just insane to me. I don't know why I did it, but I just clicked it. And then that's when stuff started happening and the phone reset and all the emails started coming through. And then it just slowly dawned on me how idiotic that thing was to do. I was like, oh man, and I'm still kicking myself, But the thing is, right, if you're watching this video and you've been hacked, you're probably feeling the same. And everyone I've talked to who has fallen for a scam like this the first thing they say is, I just feel such an idiot, you know? So, you know, give yourself a break, because we're all just human. And by definition, that means we make mistakes, doesn't it? And yeah, I made a biggie there. And maybe you have too. So, you know, it's fine. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just don't panic. Relax, or try to relax, you know, or at least stay calm and concentrate on the most important things and get it sorted. And put it down to experience and learn from it and never make that mistake again. So, that's how it all went down for me, and I hope there's some steps in there that will be helpful in recovering your account if you've lost it. As long as you can get in contact with at Team YouTube, then shouldn't be any reason why you don't get your account back in its entirety. And if anything has been deleted from your account, Google should be able to restore anything like that. They have all of the data. So thanks for watching, and have a good day. Take it easy. Bye.